But I thought we needed to save the planet. I thought the world was going to boil unless we all started driving EVs by a week next Tuesday. I thought the climate catastrophe trumped everything else. Well, in Canada, apparently not. Far from being the existential crisis it is always made out to be, the climate is a barely visible dot in the rearview mirror compared to the actual and genuine problems of the industrial devastation wrought on the automotive sector as a result of these mad policies. And despite blaming it all on Trump, naturally, Canada has announced it will be pausing the electric vehicle mandate, following in the footsteps of the United States, which has executed a complete 180 on the insanity of net zero. And who knows, Europe may follow suit next week. Stay tuned. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney YouTuber. If you enjoy this video, please drop a like and make sure you click that subscribe button down below and enable all notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. It's all completely free. And if you'd like to support this channel, head over to my store where you can purchase some cool anti-EV merch. More information at the end of the video, or alternatively you can chip in a small donation at Buy Me a Coffee. Links to both are in the description, or you can scan the QR codes on screen. Looking at Europe quickly first, there's a meeting on the 12th of September at which automakers will be there to plead with the European Union bureaucrats to ease up on the punishing EV mandate and allow a technology-neutral approach rather than picking a winner. That's far too sensible an idea for the Euro zombies to approve of, but I guess we can always hope. The fateful meeting that could tear up the engine ban. In a week's time, the car industry and the EU will meet in a fateful meeting. Demands that the ban on petrol and diesel be torn up. Achieving the strict CO2 targets for cars and light commercial vehicles by 2030 and 2035 is, in today's world, simply no longer feasible, said Ola Kalinius, head of Mercedes and the Automotive Industry Association, ACEA. The year 2035 was supposed to be a milestone in European history. At that time, the ban on the sale of new petrol and diesel cars within the Union will come into force. Now, strong forces in Europe are working to tear up the decision. The car industry says it is not ready. On September the 12th, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, will meet ACEA, which is the European Car Manufacturers Trade Association, for a special meeting. Many believe that ACEA will then put forward its demands to break the ban. Chairman Ola Kalinius recently announced this in a letter. They want to allow more technologies than just electric cars. And we covered this letter from the Mercedes boss in a video last week, which I will link to in the description. Technology neutrality should be the fundamental regulatory principle, ensuring that all technologies can contribute to decarbonisation. Electric cars will lead the development, but there must also be room for plug-in hybrids, range extenders, highly efficient combustion engines, hydrogen and decarbonised fuels, says Ola Kalinius in an open letter from ACEA to European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Now ACEA has a trump card in its hand. The Netherlands Statistics Agency, CBS, has released brand new figures. According to them, the number of NOx particles decreases by itself. CBS compares with 2005, which is also the EU's benchmark for comparing emissions. That year, the Dutch transport sector emitted 205 million kilograms of NOx particles. After the latest measurement, it turns out that it has decreased to 78.5 million in 20 years. The reasons can be speculated about, but today's cars have improved. And then we should also take into account that 75% of the country's vehicle fleet is not yet electrified. And this confirms something I've been saying for ages. Modern combustion engines are literally marvels of engineering. Small, light, unbelievably efficient, and incredibly clean. To dump a century's worth of combustion engine research and development into the dustbin of history in the blink of an eye is a scandalous waste. Clean petrol and diesel should be allowed to continue for many decades to come, alongside any new technology that might come along, and the market should be able to decide if and when to switch. And across the Atlantic, once you strip away all the bluster, Canada has had a spark of sanity in amongst the woke garbage it has become famous for. Carney pauses 2026 EV target, announces Buy Canadian policy. Prime Minister Mark Carney is pausing the federal government's 2026 electric vehicle EV target and launching a review of the overall mandate as part of a new strategy to support sectors impacted by US President Donald Trump's tariffs. Carney made the announcement on Friday in Mississauga, Ontario, following a two-day cabinet planning forum this week that was largely focused on the economy. Our relationship with the United States, so essential for so many industries, was once one of our greatest strengths, and in many cases, in certain sectors, has become a vulnerability. This disruption calls for a bold new approach, Carney said. Multiple government and industry sources shared the details of the federal government's sector-based strategy to CTV News prior to Friday's announcement. As part of the strategy, Canada's 2026 target for 20% of light-duty vehicle sales to be zero-emission will be paused, and an immediate 60-day review of the EV mandate will also begin. Asked by reporters whether the EV sales mandate will be scrapped altogether, Carney wouldn't answer directly, but said automakers have enough on their plate right now. We'll look at the interaction between the EV mandate, our clean fuel standards, our investment tax credits, our trade policy, all of those elements, because what this government is focused on is absolutely results, Carney added. And the Conservative opposition is rightly celebrating this volte-face. In Ottawa on Friday, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre accused Carney of flip-flopping on a policy he previously endorsed. He's finally admitted that the Conservatives were right, just like we were right on the carbon tax, Poilievre told reporters. But he's doing a clumsy retreat, saying that he's going to delay this mandate. So now businesses who would otherwise consider investing in automaking here in Canada will have to put that investment on hold. Yes, of course, it would be much better to dump it altogether, but that would probably be too distasteful for Carney's government right now. A pause will allow it to be delayed indefinitely. None of this was ever about the climate anyway. It was all about control. Combustion cars give far too much freedom to the average citizen. Much better to stick them in EVs with connected tech that can be controlled or shut down. But only in extreme circumstances, of course. Yeah, right. 2020 isn't that long ago, and we haven't forgotten. If you'd like to support this channel and display your anti-EV credentials to your Tesla-owning neighbours at the same time, why not buy some awesome MGUY merchandise, like this mug, this baseball cap, or this t-shirt? Each high-quality item sports the MGUY No EVs sign, and they're all made to order, perfect for irritating the hell out of your local EV zealots. Visit store.mguy.tv or click the link in the description to check out the full range of products. And of course, you can always just buy me a coffee. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Thanks very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any tips or stories, go there. If you'd like to watch another video, go there. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, go there. And please subscribe to the channel.